Hello and welcome to this ultimate home automation course using Arduino Uno board. Throughout the course, we are going to learn how to create smart gadgets using Arduino Uno and integrate it with our Python code. We are going to create not one or two smart gadgets but 25 plus smart gadgets throughout the course. It will be totally practical and hands-on experience throughout the course, and you will learn everything from very basics to an advanced level by building different smart gadgets throughout the course with the help of our Arduino Uno board. You will learn how to control your normal devices and appliances using sensors, computer or laptop, Telegram bot, and at last but not the least using Jarvis AI assistant with voice command. And the end result of this course will be the ultimate home automation that we will be able to create by converting our normal devices or appliances into smart devices and integrating them with IoT, using which we will be able to control our devices with the help of the Internet of Things. So now you don't need to spend money on expensive smart devices. With the help of this course, you will learn how to create your own smart devices. I am Arbaz Khan and I will be your instructor throughout the course. I have more than 5 years of experience in Python, IoT and robotics, and I have built over 500 plus projects with the help of them. I am teaching on Udemy from last 2 years, and in the span of 2 years I have 2 bestseller courses on the platform, and I hope you will be learning a lot from this course. And let me show you the end result of this course by introducing you to the Jarvis AI assistant.
Hello, I'm Jarvis 2.0, an advanced artificial intelligence assistant developed using Python programming language, machine learning, natural language processing and neural networks, integrated with IoT and robotics. Created by Arbaz Khan. In this course you are going to learn to create an advanced artificial intelligence assistant using Python programming, machine learning and natural language processing. Let me show you some of my features that I'm capable of.
Hello Jarvis.
Hello sir, Jarvis at your service. Please tell me, how can I help you?
Jarvis, initiate the drone in selfie mode.
Okay sir, initiating drone in selfie mode.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Jarvis, a virtual artificial intelligence, and I'm here to assist you with a variety of tasks as best I can, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Importing all preferences from home interface. Systems are now fully operational.
Jarvis, turn on lamp.
Okay sir, turning on lamp.
Jarvis, turn off lamp.
Okay sir, turning off lamp.
Jarvis, turn on the AC.
Okay sir, turning on the AC with temperature 20 degrees Celsius.
Turn on the lights, Jarvis.
Okay sir, turning on the lights.
Turn off lights, Jarvis.
Okay sir, turning off the lights.
Jarvis, turn on the wipers.
Okay sir, turning on the wiper.
Jarvis, open the left window.
Okay, sir, opening the left window.
Jarvis, close the left window.
Okay, sir, closing the left window.
Jarvis, play some songs.
Okay, sir, opening the playlist.
Jarvis, how is the weather?
Sir, the temperature in the car is 25 degrees Celsius.
Jarvis, how much fuel do I have?
Sir, the fuel is around 12 liters. We can go 171 kilometers now.
I hope you liked it what you saw. Then what are you waiting? Click on that enroll button now and get started with the course to create your own advanced personalized AI assistant. Okay, I need to go. Mr. Khan is back. Love you 3000.
This is a free demo of the full course which is available on udemy.com. You can check the link in the description using which you can get 90% discount on this course. So if you are interested in such content, you can click on that subscribe button and also press the bell icon to get notified whenever I post new videos, and also leave a like on this video. So let's get started with the course. In this video of the course, we are going to be discussing about all the hardware components that are required for this ultimate home automation course using Arduino Uno board, and a PDF format of all these components is available to download in the description or the resources section of this video. So you can go there and download that PDF file. You will find all the images of the components that we are using, as well as the appropriate serial number and name of that component that we are using in this course. And you can also find the Amazon link using which you can refer that exact product and try to purchase it by visiting that link. So if you have any issues or doubts regarding the components, so you can just leave it in the Q&A session and I will try to help you out with that as soon as possible. So first of all, we are going to be needing an Arduino Uno board. So you can see on the screen, this is the Arduino Uno board that we are going to be using throughout the course to control all the hardware components with the help of this microcontroller. And you can see it has multiple pins on it, and you can see there are in total 13 digital pins on this Arduino Uno, as well as there are 6 analog pins on this Arduino board. And there is also some ports using which we can connect the power as well as ground with this Arduino board. So let me keep it aside. After the Arduino board, we also need a breadboard. So you can see this is the breadboard which we are going to be using, and using this we can extend the connection from our Arduino board onto this breadboard and connect the multiple pins with single input which is coming from our Arduino board. So for example, you can see that there is only one 5V on the Arduino board. So if you want to extend that, we can extend using this breadboard. So this is also very important, and it will make our process of creating circuits very easy with the help of this breadboard. So I will just keep it aside. And after that, we are going to be needing some jumper wires. So you can see these are the jumper wires that we are going to be needing, and mostly we need male to male and male to female jumper wires. So I will recommend you to get an entire combo of this jumper wires and the breadboard, and you can find that on Amazon easily, and the combo is very cheap. So you will get all these jumper cables and the breadboard. And one of the most important component that will be our relay module, using which we are going to be controlling all the hardware components that will be connected to our relay module. So using it, we are going to be controlling all the hardware components like light, fan and other devices using it with the help of this relay module and the Arduino board. So this is a 5V relay. You can find it easily on Amazon, and you can see it is a 4-channel relay, so you can connect up to 4 devices. There are different configuration of this relay module. It comes up to 32 relays on a single board, and you can get a 32 relay module and control up to 32 devices using the Arduino board. So let me put it aside. After the relay module, the next component that we are going to be needing will be a bulb holder like this. You can see this is a bulb holder using which we can connect this bulb with the holder, and we can connect 2 wires with it, and these 2 wires can be connected to our relay module. So this is a very simple bulb holder that you can find in any electrical shop. So I will just keep it aside. After that, we are also going to be needing a bulb. So this is the bulb which I am going to be using. This is a 9-volt bulb that we are going to be connecting with this bulb holder and trying to control in our course. So I will just keep that aside. Another component that we are going to be needing will be a two-way switch. So using this, we can control the relay module with the help of this two-way switch. So basically we are going to be connecting this bulb with this relay module as well as this two-way switch. So it will be also able to control through the two-way switch and also the relay module. So this is also required. So let me put it aside. So the other component that we are going to be needing will be a socket. You can see this is the socket that we are going to be using, and we are going to be converting it into a smart socket in our course. So that's why we're going to be needing this socket, and we will be able to control the devices that are connected to this socket using our Arduino board. So let me put it aside. We are also going to be needing this LEDs. So you can see these are multicolor LEDs like red and green. So we are going to be needing that as well. So we are going to be also trying to blink these LEDs and control them with the help of our Arduino in our basics. So you can get multiple color LEDs. I will recommend you to get around 5 to 10 LEDs of this kind. You can see they have two inputs, 5 volt and ground. So I will just put it aside. We are also going to be needing a LDR sensor. So you can see on the screen, this is the LDR sensor. So you can see on the screen, this is the LDR sensor which I am talking about. So you can find the links in the PDF as well. So I will just keep it aside. Also for connecting this LDR sensor, we are also going to be requiring some resistors. So you can just check out the PDF for the details about this register. And after that, we are also going to be needing a addressable RGB LED strip. So you can see this is the addressable RGB LED strip that I'm going to be using. You can find it on Amazon easily, and the details about it is given in the PDF. So you can just go there, and you can see there are in total 3 pins on this LED strip. The first one is 5 volt, the middle one is the digital pin, and the third one is the ground. So using this addressable RGB strip, we are going to be controlling it with our Arduino board. So let me put it aside. And after that, we're going to be needing some sensors. So this one is the ultrasonic sensor, using which we can calculate the distance. And also we are going to be needing a PIR sensor, which stands for passive infrared sensor. So using it, we can sense the motion with the help of this sensor. So you can see there are in total 3 pins on it as well. And the last component that we are going to be needing will be a temperature sensor, using which we can get the temperature as well as the humidity of the room with the help of this THT11 sensor. And you can find all the links as well as the references to all these components in the PDF that is available in the resources section of this video. So you can just go there and try to get all these components with you. And also you're going to be needing some wires with this kind of plugs. So you can find out the appropriate plug for your country and just purchase them. And you are also going to be needing some wires to connect with this plug. And we are going to be powering up all the components using this wires and connectors. So you can just purchase them according to your country. So these were all the hardware components that are required for this course. So I will recommend you to purchase all these components first and then start with the course, because if you don't have any of this component, you won't be able to complete the entire course. So I will recommend you to get all these components by going on to Amazon or eBay and purchasing all these components as soon as possible. And once you receive the components, you can start with the course. And if you have any doubts or issues related to any of the components, so you can just leave them in the Q&A session of the course, and I will try to help you out with that. So that was it for this component introduction video. Let's move to the next video of this course. In this video, we will take a look at Python in under 120 seconds. Let's get started with it. Python is a high-level interpreted multi-purpose programming language. It is one of the most popular programming language in the world because of its beginner-friendly syntax and ease of use. In fact, you are watching this video on a Python web application. It was created by Kudo van Rossum and released in year 1991. It is widely used in server-side applications using Django framework. Aside from Django, Flask is also used for small projects, and it is a language of choice for artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science. It can be also used as an scripting language as well as for automation. By the way, a course on Ultimate Automation using Python is coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. Many students choose Python to start learning to code because of its readability and simple syntax similar to English language. The most recent version of Python is Python 3. Also, there is another version which is Python 2, although it's not being updated anymore. So there might be a question in your mind that why should you learn Python? Tech giants like Google, Facebook, Instagram, Netflix are using Python for development and hiring for Python developers, and the salary of a Python developer ranges between $80,000 and goes up to $110,000. So isn't it exciting? Let's try comparing Python with other programming languages. C uses 5 lines of code to print hello world, C++ uses 6 lines of code to print hello world, and Java uses 7 lines of code to print just hello world. But Python only uses 1 line of code by just typing print, and we also don't need to compile the code. We can directly run the code with the help of the interpreter. So if you are interested in learning Python with practical and hands-on experience, I will be leaving some links in the description of this video so you can check it out. And that was it for the Python in under 120 seconds, and I tried to give you a brief overview of Python, and that was it for the video. I will see you in the next one. So in this video of the course, we are going to be setting up our development environment for our course. So for that, we need to install Python and VS Code onto our system. So for that, I will just open an browser and I will just search for Python on Google, and you will find this first result that will be python.org website. So we will click on this first link and it will redirect us to this website, which is python.org, and this is the official website of Python, and you can find all the documentation as well as the latest version of Python. You can download the exe file or any other files that are required, and you can also find the documentation for the Python as well. So on this website, we will hover over this download section, and we're going to be downloading this latest version of Python on our system. So we will just click on it and it will start downloading it on our system. So once the download is finished, we're going to be installing it on our system. And the another piece of software that is required is called VS Code. So I will just type here VS Code and we will search for it, and you will get the first result as download Visual Studio Code. We will click on it and we're going to be downloading it for our Windows system. It is available for Linux as well as Mac, so you can download the appropriate version for your system. So I'm using Windows system, so I will just click on download and it will start downloading this VS Code onto my system, and we will go on to this website. So basically the Visual Studio Code is a code editor that has an inbuilt functionality of running the code of different programming languages, and it supports different extension as well for different programming languages. So for example, if you're working with different programming languages like Python, C++, or any other language, so it has the support for Visual Studio Code using the extensions that it has in the extension market. You can just download it and they are totally for free. So it is really helpful for developers to work on different programming languages through a single code editor or IDE. So once these both softwares are downloaded, we will go in the Explorer and we're going to be installing these both software one by one. So first of all, we will install the Python. So for installing Python, we will just double click on this exe file and we will see these options are there, and we just need to check this box which says add Python 3.9 to path. Otherwise it will show errors while you are running the Python code, and it will not recognize Python as an command. So you just need to select this box, otherwise it will give you errors. And once that is done, we are going to be clicking on customize installation, and it will take you to the next page and it shows optional features, and we will not change anything here. We will click on next, and in advanced option we are going to be selecting install for all users. So if you have multiple users on your system, so it will install it for all users, so you can use Python for them as well. So once that is done, we will click on install, and it will ask for administrator permissions. We will click on yes, and it will start installing it on our system. So it will take few minutes to install it on our system, and once that is done, we will just open the CMD and we will try to run the Python command and see if the Python is successfully installed on our system or not. So it is installing this packages and documentation of Python on our system. It will take only few seconds for me because I have an SSD installed on my system. If you are using an HDD drive or an hard drive, it will take longer time for you, and I will recommend you to use SSD for your software development purposes, as it speeds up the process of installing and doing other things on your system. So let it get installed. I will be back once the installation process is finished. So finally the setup is completed. It took me like 1 minute to install this Python on my system, and you can see setup was successful, and we will just click on this close button. And to check whether the Python is successfully installed or not, we will just click on this address bar and we will just type here cmd, and it will open the command prompt inside this folder, and we will just type here Python to see whether Python is successfully installed or not. So you can see Python 3.9.4 is available on our system. So we can try printing out something. We will try print, and we can print out testing Python 3.9, and if I hit enter, so it will print out this line for us. So it means the Python is successfully installed on our system. So we will just exit out of this Python interpreter, and after that we will just go back and we are going to be installing the VS Code IDE onto our system. So I will just double click on this exe file of VS Code, and I will just click on accept. I accept the agreement. I will just click on next. I will select this create a desktop icon, and I will click on next, and it will ask me to install. I will just click on install, and it will start installing this piece of software on my system. And once that is installed, we can just right click, and we will be able to see this option of open with code. If I just click on it, so it will open a Visual Studio Code window inside that folder, which is our Python folder. And you can see if you want to create a new file or something like that, so just need to click on a new file, and we can just save it with a Python extension. But before that, we need to install the extension for the Python. So for that, I will just click on this extensions, and here we will just type Python, and you will get this first result of the Python extension. So I have already installed it on my system. You just need to click on install, and it will start installing it on your system. And once that is done, we can start writing the code for Python on our system. So I will just close all these things, and I will just try to create a new file with the name test.py, and inside that file I will just write a print statement. So I will just try to print out something using this file and check whether the Python is working properly or not. So I will just type here hello world, and you can see that it is asking me to select the Python interpreter which I want to use. So I have installed multiple Python version on my system, so I have 2 versions of Python installed. So if you have only one version of Python, it will ask you to select that. So I will just select the recent version that we have installed, which is Python 3.9.4, and after selecting that, it is now selected, you can see here. And I will just try to minimize this thing, and I will just zoom in a little bit, and I will just close this thing. And if I just click on this run button, so it will start running the code for us, and you can see hello world is printed out on our terminal. So it means the Python is successfully installed on our system. So that was it for setting up our development environment, and we have installed Python as well as the VS Code successfully. So without further ado, let's move to the next video of this course. In this video of the course, we will take a look at how we can install the Arduino IDE onto our system. So for that, first of all, we will open our preferred browser, and in the Google, we will just search for Arduino IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. So after searching that, you will find this first result, that will be the software Arduino, So basically the Arduino is a software as well as an hardware company. So it also provides us with the software that we need to create the programs for the Arduino board. So we will just click on this first link in here, and it will redirect us to the download page of the Arduino IDE. So after coming here, you can see Arduino IDE 1.8.90, which is the latest version of this Arduino IDE. So now we want to install it on our Windows system. So we will just click on Win 7 and newer. If you are using Linux or Mac, you can just select the appropriate operating system from here. So I will just click on Windows, and it will redirect us to this page where we can support the Arduino IDE and contribute some amount to this open source project, which is Arduino IDE. So if you want to contribute some amount, you can select the amount from here and click on contribute and download. But for now, we will just click on just download. So it will download the Arduino IDE on our system for free. So you can see. So after that, we will open it in an Explorer and double click on it. So it will launch the application for the installation process. So you can see on the screen, this is a license agreement for the Arduino software. So now we will just click on I agree. And after that, we will just click on next. And it will install it onto our system, and it will take few minutes to install it. So it depends on your system speed, how much time it will take to install it on your system. So it is extracting all the files and setting it up on our system. So basically our Arduino code will be a combination of C and C++ code, and using which we will be able to control our Arduino board. So we are going to be using a combination of C and C++ code to write the programs for our Arduino board. As well as further in the course, we will try to integrate this C and C++ code with our Python code and try to control it with the help of our Python code as well. So once the installation process is finished, it will ask us with this prompt to install the drivers. So we will just click on install, and it will install that drivers for us. These drivers are required to connect our Arduino board with our computer. So we will just click on install, and again we will just click on install. It will ask us to install a USB software, and we will install all of them by clicking on install. And you can see finally it has installed the Arduino IDE software onto our system successfully. We will just click on close, and as you can see on the desktop, we have got the icon of the Arduino software. So we will just double click on it, and it will open the Arduino IDE for us. It will take few seconds to open the Arduino IDE onto our system. And we will just click on allow access for the internet. And we have successfully installed the Arduino IDE onto our system. So as you guys can see on the screen, this is the basic sketch that we get pre-written by our Arduino IDE. So basically in Arduino, the programs are called as sketch. So we have this sketch in here. So finally we have installed the Arduino IDE successfully onto our system. So if you have any doubts or issues regarding it, you can leave them in the Q&A session of the course. So that was it for this video. Let's move to the next video of this course. In this section of the course, we are going to be starting with our first project that will be blinking the inbuilt LED on the Arduino board for 1 second. So for that, first of all, we will connect our Arduino board with our computer. And once we are done with it, we will open our Arduino IDE, and we will open a new file by clicking on this new file, and we will get a code like this, or we will get this kind of new file in which there is a pre-written code, which is void setup and void loop. These are two functions. We will discuss it about later. So after that, we will just click on tools, and we will select our Arduino board. In our case, we are using the Arduino Uno, so I will just select that, and I will click again on tools, and I will select the port as well. So in the port, you can see our Arduino Uno is connected to the COM4. I will just select that, and we are connected with our Arduino. So as soon as I will click on this upload button, it will upload the code to our Arduino and there will be no errors shown to us. So whenever you connect an Arduino board with your computer, you just need to go through this process of connecting it with the COM port and selecting the board name. So if you are using any other board, you can just select the name from this list. So once that is done, we are going to be starting with writing the code. So you can see here is a function called void setup. So void setup, inside here, whatever we will write, it will run only once. And in the void loop, the name itself suggests that it will repeat the task or it will run a loop inside the code that we will be writing inside this void loop function. So for now, let's start writing the code. So inside the void setup, we are going to be defining the LED, which is a built-in LED. So for that, I will just type here pin mode, and the M will be capital as the Arduino IDE uses camel case. So we will just type pin mode with the capital M, and inside here we will just type LED underscore built-in, and we are going to be providing another parameter that will be as output, because this LED will be our output. And if you want to take an input from a sensor, you just need to type input in the pin mode. So once that is done, we will just add a semicolon at the end of this line, and we will move forward in the void loop and we will try to write the code for blinking the LED. So in here we will just type digital. As we are sending the digital signal, we will just type digital write, and the W will be capital for the write. And inside here we will be just typing LED underscore built-in, and we will add a comma and type here hi. So it will turn on the LED for us, and we will add a semicolon in here, and it will be providing a data as 1. So I will just try to add a comment in here, and I will just type it will send data as 1 to turn on the LED. And in the next line we will just add a delay. So we want to blink the light, so we will just turn this LED light on for 1 second. So I will just add here 100 milliseconds. This time is in milliseconds, so 1000 milliseconds will be equals to 1 second. So in the next line we will again type digital write, and in here we are going to be providing LED underscore built-in, and now we will set it to low, and the low will be capital. And in here we are going to be adding a semicolon at the end of this line, and we will add the comment as well. So it will be sending data as 0 to turn off the LED. And at the end of it we will just add another delay of 1 second. I will just type in here, and I will provide 1000 in here, and I will add a semicolon. And once we are done with it, we will just try to save this code by typing Ctrl+S, and we will just name it as, I will just try to select our folder in here. So here is a folder that I have created, and I will just type here blink underscore built-in. And once we have saved the code, we will just try to compile it and verify it. So we will just click on this verify button, and it will try to compile our code and see if there is any errors or not. So you can see here the compilation is done compiling. Now once we are done with that, we will just click on this upload button and upload this code on our Arduino to see the output of it. So let's just wait. And you can see on the Arduino the orange light is blinking turning on and off every 1 second. So this is how you can blink the built-in LED on the Arduino board. So this was a startup project and we tried to understand how this code works. So if you have any doubts regarding it, you can leave them in the Q&A section and I will try to help you out with that. So that was it for this session. Let's move to the next video of the course. So in the previous video of the course, we have seen how we can blink the built-in LED on the Arduino board with the help of this code which we have created in our previous video. So in this video, what we will do is we will try to blink the LED, which is an external LED, using our code. So for that, first of all, we will try to connect the LED light with our Arduino board. So first of all, what we will do is we will connect the LED with the pin 13 of our Arduino board and see the output of it. So if I will connect the positive end with the 13 and the negative end with the ground, and as you guys can see, the LED has started blinking. So this is because the built-in LED is directly connected to our pin number 13 and it gives the output to that pin number 13. So that's why our red LED is blinking. So now what we will do is we will remove the LED from pin 13 and we will insert the positive end to the pin 12 of the Arduino board. And once we are done, we will move towards our code. So we will click on files and we will create a new file. And in here, what we will do is, first of all, in the void setup, before the void setup, we will first of all initialize the pin number that we are going to be using. So here we will define int LED equals to 12. So basically we are defining the pin number that we are going to be using. So it is in form of integer value, and the pin 12 is defined here. It is defined in the form of integer value, and it is the pin 12 that we are going to be using to blink the LED and send the digital signal using the pin 12. So we will go in the void setup part and we will type here pin mode, and the M will be capital, and in here we will just provide LED and we will add a comma and type output, and the output will be in capital. Just do all caps here, and we will just close the bracket and add a semicolon at the end of it. And now in the previous video we have already written the code for the void loop. So in here what we will do is we will just try to replicate that code. So I will just minimize it and we will try to copy it from here, this part of code, and we will just paste it in there. And in here we will just change the values of the LED to the small LED. Here we have written LED underscore built-in. We'll just replace it with LED, small LED, that we have defined here, you can see. And we will do the same here. Now what we will do is we will just try to save the code and we will name it as LED underscore blink, and we will save it. And after saving it, we will just try to verify the code by clicking on the verify button, and it will try to compile our code, and you can see it has compiled our code successfully. We will just see what error we will get if we remove one of the semicolons from here. So I will just remove this semicolon and we will try to save the code and again verify it, and you can see that it is showing us an error here. So just keep in mind that you don't miss any semicolons at the end of that line. So we will just add that here back and we will try to verify it again, and you can see it has compiled it successfully. We will just try to click on the upload button and see the output on our Arduino board, and as you guys can see, the LED has started blinking and we have successfully blinked an external LED. So in the next video we will try to blink a series of LED lights one by one. So we will be using 3 LED lights and we will blink them one by one. So let's move to the next video of this course. So in the previous video, we have seen how we can blink this LED light with the digital pin 12. So in this video, we will take a look at how we can blink a series of LEDs, which will be 3 LEDs one by one every second. So what we will do is we will use a breadboard and a jumper wire to connect the LEDs with our Arduino board. So here is the breadboard that we are going to be using. So you can see it has different ports where we can connect the GPIO pins, and we will just remove this LED from the Arduino board. So what we will do is we will just connect this LEDs with our breadboard. So what I will do is I will just connect it in this format. I will just insert the negative end. The negative end is connected here, which will be providing the ground, and here is the digital pin that will be providing the digital signal. So we will connect the jumper wire in here, and one jumper wire will be connected to this series of ground connections that we will be needing. So I have connected one white LED. I will connect a green LED in the same format in here. I have attached it now. You can see 2 LEDs are connected, and I will connect a red LED as well in the same format. Now once we are done with that, we will connect an orange wire with this ground connection, and we will insert it in the ground connection of our Arduino board, and there will be 3 different color wires. I will attach here. I will connect it with the red wire with the red LED in this format. You can see it is connected next to the positive end of the LED, so it will send the digital signal. I will connect the green cable as well here. The green one will be connected to the positive end of the green LED, and I will connect the gray one to the white LED. And once we are done with the connection, we will just connect it with our Arduino board one by one. So we will connect the red LED to the pin 13, green LED to the pin 12, and the white LED to the pin 11. So let's do the connections. And the orange wire will go into the ground. First of all, I will connect the ground wire. The second one will be the red wire which go into the pin 13. The green will go in onto the pin 12 on the Arduino board. It started blinking as we have connected, and we have already uploaded the code for blinking the LED on the pin 12. Now we will connect the last LED on the pin 11. So here you can see how they are connected. So once we are done with it, we will move towards our code. So in the Arduino IDE, what we will do is we will create a new file in here, and we will just try to copy this entire code in there, in that new file that we have created. And we will just paste this code in here, and we will try to edit that code. So first of all, what we will do is we will just add the name of the LEDs in here. So I will type int LED underscore red equals to 13. The pin 12 one is the green LED, and we will define the white LED as well. That will be equals to pin 11, and we will just set the pin mode for all these pins. So I will just copy this code thrice here, and we will just add the name of the LEDs here. So I will just add it underscore red, underscore green, and at the end we'll add the white one here. And after that we just need to start writing the code here. So previously we have tried to blink the one LED at a time. So now what we want to do is we want to blink the turn on the first LED and turn off that LED. Then the second LED should turn on, and the third LED should turn on once the second LED is off. So for that I will just replicate this code 2 times more, and here we will just change the name of that LEDs. So I will just add here red, underscore red, and then first of all it will turn on the red LED and it will turn off the red LED. Once that is done, it will turn on the green LED. So we'll just add here green. We'll do the same here. We want to turn off that LED, and we want to turn on the white LED then after every 1 second, and this loop should go on infinitely. So I think this code should work, so we will just try to save this code. So we will just save this code with a name as multiple underscore LED underscore blink, and we will save this code, and we will verify the code by clicking on the verify button, and it should compile the code, and you can see there are no errors. So it means we have not missed any kind of syntax error. So let's just try to upload the code and see the output on our Arduino. So as you guys can see, our LEDs have started blinking, and you can see it on the output screen that our program is working perfectly fine, and it is blinking each LED one by one after every second. So this is how you can blink multiple LEDs in a series one by one for 1 second each. So if you have any doubts or issues regarding it, you can leave them in the Q&A session of the course, and I will be happy to help you out with that. So that was it for this session. Let's move to the next section of this course.
you.